is going on, everyone? This is Chris on SportsVisions 92.1 FM, and we are about to do our second show. I'm so excited about this being on the air. Tonight's show is brought to you, of course, by Southern Classic Transportation. Now, they celebrate comfort and courtesy unrivaled. They're based in Atlanta, so if you need to travel, they will pick you up, take you to your destination, wait for you, and then take you back home, or take you to the airport front and back, or take you to another city and back. Visit southern-classic-limo.com. Make sure you tell them Around the ATL sent you. Another one of our sponsors for tonight's show is IMTM Worldwide Images. If you need photos, headshots, business or acting, model portfolios, music photos, maternity pictures, family photos, make sure you hit up imtmworldwideimages.com. They're available anywhere in the United States, but especially in Georgia. Come on now. And make sure you let them know Around the ATL sent you as well. That all being said, want to make sure that you stay tuned to the end of the show, because we're going to do a little bit of a backstory of how Around the ATL got started, bits and pieces. But right now, let's go ahead and bring in our co-host for tonight's show, longtime Atlanta sports fan, past sports writer, as I mentioned last week, and current Atlanta resident. His name is Jordan Jackson. Jordan, how you doing tonight, sir?
What's up, sir? I'm doing very well. As always, glad to be on Around the ATL on SportsVisions 92.1 FM. And just excited to get into talking about the good and the bad of what is Atlanta and Georgia sports, sir.
I heard you there, man. So again, if you're watching the live stream, you're cheating a little bit. IMT and Worldwide Radio on YouTube. You know we usually do a 2-hour show. We talk Falcons, Braves, Hawks, United, Dream, and the Vibe. We talk college sports, UGA, Georgia Tech, Georgia State, Clark Atlanta, other HBCUs in the state. But now we're going to also talk about high school sports and also sports in Columbus, Georgia, with the Columbus Lions, the River Dragons, the Clingstones, Columbus State University, and so on and so forth. Tonight in particular, though, we're going to do another 30-minute episode on SportsVisions 92.1 and also for the next few weeks. And tonight specifically, we're going to talk college football in Georgia, the Atlanta Hawks, and we're going to include some high school and football and basketball. So let's get started. So with college football, we kind of mentioned this last week in regards to the University of Georgia not making the college national championship, obviously. And this was following a year where they got snubbed to give themselves a chance to three-peat, hint, hint, right? And after winning back-to-back national championship games. And we know how this season ended with Beck getting hurt. We got eliminated from the playoffs. Will Kirby be able to find a quarterback for 2025? Will we have enough on offense and defense to compete? Jordan, how long do you think it will be before Georgia gets back to the national championship game, especially with the official playoffs now being here?
Well, sir, it could be as soon as next season that the Georgia Bulldogs get back to the national championship game. They have the number 2 overall recruiting class coming in, and they're just absolutely loaded at all positions, especially on the defensive side of the football. One of the issues Georgia had this past season was a lack of playmaking at the receiver or the pass catcher positions. We missed Brock Bowers and Ladd McConkey, who both had great rookie seasons in the NFL, big time. But Kirby Smart and crew have done everything they can to try to rectify that problem. They have brought in several transfer players into the portal, including wide receiver Zachariah Branch out of UFC. Also, his brother, who plays safety, is coming with him. And one of the big recruit coming in from a freshman perspective is Taylon Taylor, a wide receiver out of Geneva, Illinois. They also got transfer wide receiver out of Texas Tech, a big 6'6" kid by the name of out of Texas A&M, excuse me, Noah Thomas, 6'6", 200 pounds. So Georgia should be much better in that area, which I feel was a big part of their problem, because what would happen is Carson Beck would make these beautiful passes, guys would drop the ball, and then he would get frustrated. One more quick note as far as quarterback goes. I was quite pleased with Gunnar Stockton's play in the bowl game. I just thought we didn't help him out. We fumbled the ball too much. We dropped passes, and we gave up a kick return. Otherwise, we could have very well beaten Notre Dame and advanced to the college football playoffs, sir.
Well, I'm encouraged by the players that are coming, and of course, with Coach Kirby, we should be straight. But it's just disappointing how this season ended at the end of the day. Now,
Well,
Georgia
that,
Tech, they went 3-9 in 2021, 5-7 in 2022, 7-6 in both 2023 and 2024. They did make a bowl game last year. They lost to Vanderbilt, close game, 35-27. Now, I know we usually don't talk jackets on this side of the spectrum, but will there be a time where Georgia Tech can get to be a threat in the ACC again on a regular basis, Jordan?
Well, I'll be honest with everybody, and all of our loyal listeners know this. I am a Georgia Bulldogs fan. Grew up watching the Dogs with the TV on mute and listening to Larry Munson do the commentary. But Georgia Tech is on the come up. Their quarterback, Haynes King, is an absolute baller. They gave Georgia all they could handle in Athens this past year, with the Bulldogs finally coming out on top after 8 overtimes. And I just think it's best for the rival when both football teams are good. And one thing I love about this rivalry is the fact that you have a Georgia Bulldog player, Kirby Smart, coaching his alma mater, the Bulldogs, and you also have a Georgia Tech player, Brent Key, coaching his alma mater, the Yellow Jackets. And so I just think that really does add something to the rivalry, sir.
That's definitely a unique point. Definitely not lost among the fans, I bet you. Georgia State University, they did not have a good year, 3-9. And this is after having a 7-6 record the previous year. But this was the first season for Columbus's own Georgia, former Georgia Bulldog, actually, Dale McGee, who has been coaching for the Bulldogs as running backs coach and was there for back to back national championships, right? And in 8 seasons, he has some of the best running backs in college, including Nick Chubb, Sony Michelle, DeAndre Swift, Elijah Holyfield, Zamir White, James Cook. We can go on and on. He was also named National Recruiter of the Year in 2018 with the #1 class. And as a head coach in Columbus, Georgia, he coached the Carver Tigers, and 7 straight seasons he led them to 10 wins a year. And he also won the title in 2007. He also went to my high school, Kendrick. So I'm going to give him time to build that program up from the bottom. And I think they're going to do very well in that Sun Belt Conference. Jordan, do you have some of the HBCU schools in Georgia that you can talk about a little bit?
Yes, sir, I do. Just real quick to add though, Dale McGee is one of the absolute best recruiters to ever come through Athens, and I do think he will build that program up. And they did beat Vanderbilt, who beat Alabama and beat Georgia Tech. So I'm just saying. But yes, sir. One of the schools I'm looking forward to, of course, is my school that I went to, the Albany State Golden Rams. They were 6-4 last season with a conference record of 6-2. Had some big wins. What their biggest was a huge blowout victory over Morehouse College, one of our Atlanta HBCUs. And probably their worst loss was to Valdosta State, another Georgia school that always has a very good football program. You also have the Clark Atlanta Panthers, who have done very well. Had one of their best seasons in quite some time at 7-3-1, 6-2 in the conference. And they did beat my team's rival, the Fort Valley State University Wildcats, 45-42 for one of their bigger wins. And also they had a huge win at Bethune-Cookman University, 38-37. Also, we have Morehouse College, who had a tough season, finished at 1-9, 1-7 in the conference, but they have some facility upgrades. By the way, Albany State did beat them 52-6. They have some upgraded facilities. They have a new field. Arthur Blank, the Falcons owner, has helped contributed to new fields for Morehouse as well as Clark. And so having better facilities always helps you in recruiting. And so hopefully for their sake, that will help them start to get the ship turned around, sir.
Well, 2025, it looks like it's going to be a big year for everybody there, and we'll look forward to watching some of their games later on this year. Let's go ahead and transition to some professional sports now. We're going to talk some Atlanta Hawks. Now, we know right now JJ is hurt again. Zach is just coming back from being hurt, but he was gone for a while. Hunter has been out for a while, and then also he's been in a shooting slump. Bogey, he's been in a shooting slump. Trey has had some bad turnover games lately. Nothing is going right, but yet we haven't had any moves from the front office. And at 22 and 23, technically 2022 and 24 right now, the Hawks still have a better record than this time last year, where they were basically 8 games under 500 and no shot at anything. However, when full strength, the Hawks have shown they can beat any of the teams in the East. So, will the organization really waste another season just because? I want to note that Raptors game a little bit. Trey had 4 assists in that game, but 13 of his passes to players went for 0 points. We left 34 points on the board from wide open layups, wide open jumpers, a lot of those, unfortunately, from Bogey. And 21 of those points were in the fourth quarter alone. So don't you think that score would have been a little bit different if the wide open threes were hit, the wide open dunks, the wide open alley oops, the floaters, and everything that happened in that fourth quarter, just that fourth quarter alone? And mind you, Trey Young leads the entire NBA in potential assists a game at 21. There's a reason for that. Okay. And again, he did have some bad passes in that game. He had some just terrible, just brain freezes or whatnot. But some of those passes were actually in the hands of players, and they just did something else. And they attributed that to Trey. I don't really like that, but it is what it is. But he did have some bad turnovers in that game. Now, in that Raptors game, Nats was 2 of 10 from the field. Bogey, 2 of 12, 0 of 6 from 3. Garrison, 1 of 5 from 3. Trey was 1 of 4 from 3, 5 of 12 for the game. Hawks gave up 54 points in the paint and 20 fast break points. Even though both teams turned the ball over 20 times, you see there was a difference there, right? Now, on the positive side, Vitt had a better game, 20 points, 7 assists, 3 steals, and 2 blocks. Okongwu had another good game, 19 points, 8 boards, 5 dimes, 4 steals. And Dyson had 13.6 dimes and 5 steals. But again, can we make a move to win, or is it all just a waste of time, Jordan? If Trey keeps passing the ball and we can't hit those shots, are we supposed to be cool with that? What can change? Give me what you think, Jordan.
Well, I love the fact that Trey comes out and tries to get his teammates involved. And I think that's the way to go early in games. But if it's a situation where guys just are ice cold or just don't seem to have the energy, I would like to see Trey assert himself a little bit more and take over offensively. Unfortunately, he just had his streak of over 200 games with 5 or more assists come to an end recently. So there's no pressure to keep that streak going. Obviously, he's going to pass the ball anyway. That's what he loves to do most. But if there's a game where he needs to step up and take more shots and score 30, 40, 50 points, I'd like to see him do whatever's needed for us to win. We know he's capable of doing that. As far as moves goes, there's certainly some moves out there that could be made. Shout out to brother to the night, Roy, who suggested after the Olympics that we should have traded Bogey Bogdanovich. I agreed with him at the time. And he had peak trade value at the time with as well as he played in the Olympics. And unfortunately, he just hasn't. He seems like he left all he had on the floor for his country and doesn't have a lot left to help the Hawks. And so I think the Hawks need to be aggressive. I think they need to make more moves. Certainly, we need more depth, and we just need more consistency overall from the top to the bottom of the roster. And so, though I've been impressed with the improvement on defense, namely because of Dyson Daniels being able to guard the best guy and allowing everyone else to slot and guard the matchup that's better for them, I do think we need to add to this team. Now, granted, I will admit, it's hard to win without your second best player, Jalen Johnson, there, and he has been hurt. But a team like Toronto has only won 12 games this season. You would think you should be able to beat them even without your second best player, sir.
So for those, and again, thanks for everyone who's listening on SportsVisions 92.1 FM. If you watched the live stream of around the ATL last year on the IMTN Worldwide Radio YouTube page, you know that I've done full game reviews of several Hawks games. And you know I started showing actually how many points we were leaving on the floor from wide open dunks, layups, and missed shots generated from passes from Trey. Okay. We're leaving 25 to 40 points a game sometimes, guys, and that's a lot. That changes your game win loss totals right there, right? And to date, Trey Young has only had 12 games where he shot the ball 20 times or more. So just like Jordan mentioned, he's definitely capable of doing it. He just hasn't been because he's been passing the ball 30 times a night or more sometimes, right? I want the Hawks to get Vucevic and Malcolm Brogdon. Vucevic is a 20-10 player who shoots 40% from three. His defensive rating is 113, so he can't be that bad on defense. And again, his offense will make up for that, right? Got O on the bench, back him up. I think would be a force right there. Brogdon gives you 14 and 4 every night, 4 assists, and he can hit 38% career from three. So not only can he get you assists and get you boards a game, because he also gets you 4 boards a game, he can hit jumpers when you need. So when Trey comes off the floor, you have continuity of offense at that point. But again, Jordan mentioned we haven't been consistent all season. We've had too many games where we got 3 starters who don't even score double digits. That's not good. And you only have like Trey having 20 and JJ having 20, or Trey having 20 and Hunter having 20. And that's just not been enough this year. The Hawks are scoring 116 a game and giving up 118.9 a game. So basically 119. We either have to score a few more points or give up less. By the way, one last note about that Raptors game that we lost against a team that doesn't have any wins barely. Dyson gave up 14 points in that game. Vic gave up 21. Okongu gave up 9. Garrison 13. Roddy 3. Bogey 7. Trey 6. Nats 14. And Clint 4. Did Trey Young give up more points than everybody in that game? No, he didn't. So again, that narrative that Trey Young is the reason on the defensive side, again, continues to not be true. Boucher had 23 points off the bench. Who's guarding him? Because Barnes had 24 and Barrett had 23, and Trey wasn't guarding neither of those guys, unfortunately, for some people out there, right? Now, again, sometimes you give up points because of who you're guarding, and sometimes you give up points per how many minutes you have on the floor. So keep that in mind, too. Sometimes it's just a matchup thing. But again, we need to do something. We're past that point of no return, really. We can't just let this team just kind of go into nothingness again and waste another year of talent. Agreed, Jordan?
Absolutely, absolutely. And ultimately, I think the guy who's has the biggest audition right now is Onyeka Okongwu. He started these last 5 games. Unfortunately, we've lost our 5. Now, it's certainly not his fault that we've lost all the games, but I think we're kind of set long term at point guard, obviously, at shooting guard with Dyson, at small forward with either Risha Shea and DeAndre Hunter, at power forward with Jalen Johnson. And the only question is, are we set long term at center with a Kongwu, or do we need to look elsewhere to solidify that position long term? And only time will tell, sir.
So as we transition on SportsVisions 92.1 FM, we're going to start talking about some high school sports in Columbus, Georgia. The Carver Tigers, after a 17-year span since winning their last championship, won the Class 2A state championship with a 52-14 win over the Burke County Bears. I mentioned Carver earlier with Dale McGee. He was the coach at the time, the last time they won the championship. So congratulations. They actually have a championship block party scheduled on February 1st from 12 to 4. Donation entry, by the way. Visit the Carver High School Facebook page for more information on it. But again, congratulations to them. Got a couple of high school basketball scores. By the way, program note, I'm going to go to the actual schools to get some of these scores, because on the websites that are floating around, they're not updating the scores as quickly as I would like. So be in tune with that over the next couple of weeks. Columbus High destroyed Hardaway 60-31 recently. The Kendrick Cherokees walloped Jordan High School 77-42. I'm always happy when my alma mater beats somebody in basketball. Carver beat Shaw 77-42. Jordan, I gotta get used to these scores, man. Spencer was beat by Westlake 86-53 on the road, and Northside High School was beaten 90-56 by the Jonesboro Cardinals. Now for the ladies, Columbus High lost to Hardaway 81-42. Shaw loses to Carver 72-55. Spencer lost to Sumter County in a close one, 44-38. And Hardaway beat Marietta 67 to 51. Jordan, do you have any scores you might want to add to that?
Absolutely, and all these scores would be from yesterday. South Forsyth 64, Forsyth Central 60, South Gwinnett 61, Newton 59, the close game there. You also had Rayburn County 91, Elbert County 64, Tallulah Falls 59, George Walton Academy 42, Brookwood School 53, Thomasville 46. Another score there. North Cobb Christian 73, Ringo 51, um, as well as Mill Creek 56, Decula 54. And so those are some of the Atlanta area scores. Oh, one more for you. Buford 63, Central Gwinnett 51. So those are some of the metro Atlanta area scores from Monday, all boys scores in this case. I will get more into the ladies scores from Atlanta as we move along in the weeks of around the ATL on Sports Vision 92.1 FM.
Appreciate that, Jordan. So another transition in the show. Hitting it quick here. Hitting it quick. Atlanta Vibe, they win again. This time 3-1 against the Vegas Thrill. They are currently 3-2 so far to start the season. Leah Edmond, last year's MVP of the Pro Volleyball Federation, led the team with 20 points and had 3 aces. Their next match is January 30th against the San Diego Mojo. That's an interesting name. FYI, you can actually watch the live stream of games on the Pro Volleyball Federation YouTube page, and that's at Real Pro, V as in Victor, B as in boy. So Real Pro VB, and you can watch all of their games. The Columbus River Dragons, they played again. They played the Athens Rock Lobsters. They lost 1-0 in a shootout, believe it or not. Sammy Bernard had 31 saves, but it wasn't enough because the goaltender for the Lobsters, Rosenweig, had 38. They both faced 8 power plays, but they kept the game scoreless in regulation. Hate to lose something like that. That's not a good way to win. I mean, lose. Next game is January 31st against the Binghamton Black Bears in New York. So again, this is our second show on Sports Visions 92.1 FM, and we hope that you are continuing to enjoy on a weekly basis. And again, if you're in Atlanta, Columbus, you're in Texas, you're in Australia, you're in London, I want you to tell people that if they enjoy Atlanta sports and enjoy sports in the state of Georgia, you need to tune in to Sports Visions 92.1 FM to listen to Around the ATL. Now, again, you can keep up with future shows of Sports Visions 92.1 FM on the IMTN Worldwide Radio page, where I'll always be posting the link there. The IMTN Worldwide Radio YouTube page. Make sure you bookmark those on your computer. You can follow myself and Jordan Jackson, Intellect ATL, on Twitter, and Jordan23 ATL as well. And of course, if you're in Columbus or if you're in Atlanta, I want you to make sure, I need to pull this up real quick. Let me do it because I need to do this. Contact Southern Classic Transportation. You need to get somewhere. You need to get somewhere comfortably. You need to get there safe. You need to get there on time. Call 404-291-0150. Make sure you let them know Around the ATL sent you. And their website, again, is southernclassiclimo.com. It's very important that you do that. Jordan, you can do a brief comment about that company real quick.
Yes, sir. Shout out to the guys at Southern Classic Transportation. Like you said, if you just want to go party and get your drink on, but be DUI proof, call the guys at Southern Classic Transportation. They'll even provide some alcohol for you, possibly. I don't know. So yeah, give those guys a shout out. Call Dennis, give him a call. Southern Classic Transportation will show you a new standard in service.
Also, make sure you visit imtnworldwideimages.com or other sponsor if you need photos for whatever reason, anywhere in the United States of America. Professional headshots, business, modeling, acting. You need maternity pictures, family photos. You need promotional photos for your music career. Make sure you hit up imtnworldwideimages.com as well. Now, I just wanted to mention, first part of the story about Around the ATL coming about. I used to use something called Blog Talk Radio, the free service, I used to interview models and actors and musicians and music video directors and magazine publishers because I used to be a talent manager years ago. And so that's what I was doing. And then years later, I started just talking about sports kind of blindly, just in general. I did a 30-minute show just talking sports. And a friend of mine, Jamal Price, he also started doing the same. So we would call into each other's show, but we also would have other people from Facebook call into the show. We just chopped it up about sports. Okay. I hadn't named it around the ATL just yet, and there's a reason why. And next week, if you stay tuned, I'll give you a little bit more of that story. So, Jordan, as we get ready to close out, any last words for you, sir?
Well, sir, I will say this 30 minutes goes quick. So, we're quick hitting with this around the ATL. Be on the lookout for us to get back into doing some of our longer 2-hour shows as well. Because we can really get more in depth and really take more calls and talk to you guys about these Atlanta, these Georgia sports. But, as always, I just want to thank you guys for joining around the ATL on SportsVisions 92.1 FM. I want to also give a shout out to my mom who's been going through some chemotherapy. I was up there with her at the hospital today, and she's currently resting right now. I know she'll be listening to this as well, and she's one of our biggest fans at around the ATL. And last but not least, I just want to thank God for giving me this breath that I breathe to talk about these Atlanta, these Georgia sports that I love. Peace up, A-Town down.
Well, definitely shout out to your mom. I know she's making it. She's doing what she needs to do to get better. You know what I'm saying? So definitely appreciate your help in that. Of course, you being involved in that 24/7 basically. So again, for everybody, again, thank you for giving us opportunity to. Hopefully, you enjoyed this show, this episode talking about Atlanta and Georgia sports. That's what Around the ATL is all about. Don't forget to tune in every Thursday night, 7 o'clock on SportsVisions 92.1 FM in Columbus. Make sure you watch the live stream on our IMTN Worldwide Radio YouTube page. And until next week, always be listening and watching Around the ATL.
Dribble, pass, throw, catch, hit, slide, grab, respect, around the ATL. Dribble, pass, throw, catch, hit, slide, grab, respect. This is ATL, you know we stay lit. Always united, check the new kit. Home of the praise, yeah, we on deck. We fly like a bird, like them hoes, check. Soaring through the city, rise up, dirty birds.